Okay, are we back?
We are.
Team Green back here, still in the park. I'm kind of embarrassed that I always tell people that you can find plantain growing anywhere, and somehow this morning I've cursed myself. I wanted some nice big ones.
Yeah.
When you find it in shady woods, and there's been lots of rain lately, I've found the leaves as big as romaine lettuce. And truthfully, if I made a decent dressing romaine salad, like a Caesar salad, you wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
Sometimes in different areas, the thing gets leathery and it's kind of hairy on the bottom, and
Yeah.
that would technically still be edible, but if you maybe rinsed it 2 water changes or something. But anyway, I was thinking about this time of year is when we get more and more from now till autumn problems with wasps, and some people react violently. So firstly,
And it seems like a bad year. I've seen a number of nests around town, and then when we were on our camping trip last couple weeks, like every time we stopped for a meal, just like we'd get swarmed. And fortunately, they weren't aggressive. They were just drawn by the smell of food, and they're just annoying, right? They're like on the cutting board, and you're trying to bite,
Yep.
and they're just around you. But as you say, kind of as the season progresses,
Yeah.
they can get a little bit more aggressive.
there'll be more and more. Something I did on one outing, we were out on the South Coast River, and I was cooking I must have had a small whole salmon that I was grilling,
Yeah,
and of course the wasps were coming in. So when I'd cut the head off,
yeah,
and I put it over there on a stump
Oh,
in
yeah.
a Ziploc,
right.
and the wasps there'd be like 50 wasps in there,
Yeah.
and I just slowly closed the zipper and beat the crap out of the wasp
Right.
with a stick of some sort,
Yeah, yeah.
and then open it up again.
Right.
So it's sort of like
and-
nobody beat a path to my door, but you know that old saying about build a better mousetrap?
Right.
So that's something that works well. But anyway, this little plant is usually really, really, really easy to find. It forms what's called a basal rosette, which means all of the leaves are just in a little circle from the root. So it's just a little circle of leaves.
Yeah.
And these would be very small ones
Yeah.
that we've got here, but at that size, unless they're growing in full sun, like if you find it in the middle of a driveway where it's sunny like this all day, they're going to be too bitter to eat.
Right.
But if that was a must-have, you could put a cardboard box over them for a couple days to blanch them,
Yeah.
and then they'd be better tasting.
Yeah.
But there's usually lots around when you find it, and I'm used to much bigger leaves. So
Yeah.
out of the basal rosette, you get a spike botanically is where you have a single stem, and there's little mini little flowers that are attached directly to that stem.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no subtending stem between the main stem and each floral stem.
Yeah.
If that happens, it's now called a raceme. So this is called a spike, and each of those tiny little flowers was red, tiny red. You'd need to have a magnifier to see the redness, and then it forms a little seed that's smaller even than millet.
Wow.
But I've known people that keep canaries and such, and they go out and find, like, you'll get those when their spikes are this big, the seed heads,
Yeah.
and pick them when the seeds are fully developed, and make bundles of them with a rubber band, and throw them in the carried cages
Right.
for the birds to pick away at instead of buying millet at the
Oh,
pet
yeah.
store. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the main reason I'm bringing it up here is that if you crush that up and put it right on a wasp sting, you'll be amazed at how quickly the sting goes away.
Yeah.
But you must leave it on.
Right. Okay.
If you go, wow, that really works, and throw them away, the pain's going to come back.
Oh,
I
interesting.
learned that was from experience.
Yeah.
So the problem is you're going to have a bandage or something. You don't need to chew them, but if you chew them up, that's one way to make a paste and put that on the sting site.
Yeah.
But you're going to need to have a bandage or some duct tape or whatever to keep it on.
Hold it on.
Yeah. So that's where essential oils are nice. If you're just walking to work on a day like today and you get one of these random flyby, like,
Yeah.
why did I deserve that? Did I walk past was there a nest in a shrub back there or something? You get these, and the thing is, bees don't want to sting you. I hate it when people get all freaked out about some bee buzzing around, like a leaf cutter bee or a bumblebee or whatever. Bees don't want to sting you, because if they do, when they fly away, half their abdomen is stuck in your hand.
Yeah.
And you want to be careful about, you can see it's quite ugly to watch. It'll still be pumping even though the animal's dead.
Right.
It'll still be pulsing, pumping you with venom. So if you take that out with tweezers, you're actually going to put a big squirt of venom into the sting, right?
Yeah.
So what I picked up somewhere, and I've tried it works well, even kids have library cards. Find the newest credit card or ID card you've got in your wallet, and if you run your thumb over the edge, those cards are punched like cookie cutters out of a sheet of plastic by a machine. So one side of it is smooth and round, and the other side is definitely kind of crisp or sharp edge. So if you bring, unless it's like between your fingers, if one was that stung me in the back of my hand here, for example, bring the crunchy side right up to the edge of the sting site. This is for a bee, and then right up to the edge of the stinger, and then just flick it.
Right.
And it's a sharp enough little, like under a bit of a microscope, you could see the sharp bend to it there.
Yeah.
And it'll pull that out.
Right.
With no further venom.
Cool.
That's for bees.
Yeah.
But wasps can come up and sting you about 9 times and then go land on a tree and laugh at you. Which is why, and hornets too. Hornets can bite or sting you.
Right.
And it's painful, and especially if you get one that's like one of them can hit you several times, the whole back of your hand swollen, that pain's going to go on for hours.
Yeah.
Right? So with the plantain, which works extremely well, you must have something with you to bandage it on with.
Right.
Okay, so at this time of year, just knowing that we were coming outside this morning, I like to carry a little vial, like just one of these little guys, of essential oil. And if I was going to pick one single oil to carry, it would be basil.
Okay.
Because it's very high in phenylpropanes, which are essentially anesthetic.
Right.
And that's why it works so well. So if you can see where the sting is, I would use a drop, neat, full strength, and just gently rub it into the area. That's it. But if you've got a whole bunch of stings, you don't want to take the pure basil oil and smear it all over your arm, because it's going to make your skin turn red, or it could even blister. So you definitely want to dilute it.
Yeah.
If you're using a large area. If you got some, some sun cream with you, or just anything, just take a couple drops, mix it up with some hand cream. You can use it that way on large areas, but on a sting, I would put it straight away. So any of the oils that you know are astringent, like myrrh would be another good one. My first choice would be basil, because it's astringent, but it's got those anesthetic properties.
Right.
So I do a blend. The idea is to super sanitize and be astringent, and then take the sting out. So I do a little blend called anti-venom, and it works so easily you just put, again, 1 drop, and then rub it in. And the sting, I've amazed children. Like, I've had screaming kids look up at me, and it's going to be okay, just wait half a minute.
Right.
And they look at me with wide open eyes saying, where did you come from? Like, are you a magic angel? It's just incredible, the eyes that they stare at you with their little faces.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So, because it really is that effective.
So actually, I had one of the staff ask me recently, because her partner is allergic to bee stings, got bit by a wasp, and his whole arm, it's like, I think it was on his hand, but it's kind of like red and it's swollen. Yep. It's a day and a half in. She's like, well, what do you think would recommend?
I would still use this.
Still use that? Yeah, even
but
at that
dilute
stage.
It.
Right.
Dilute it in something like, if it's that red aloe vera gel or whatever cream you've got. I've got that all-purpose lotion base that I use for stuff.
Yeah.
Do you sell that in the shop?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just anything like that. Just hand cream would do. And a lot of people don't realize, if you look at the ingredient list, skin creams as a category and hair moisturizers are almost exactly the same. So something you might have in your shower for your hair is actually okay to use for hand cream.
Right.
Like I said, look at the ingredient list. I worked in that industry for 16 years, and it quite astounded me how that works. Hair, skin, whatever, they're just emollients. So we know from other chats that if we use something for internal inflammation, those are called demulcents. Right. When you use like mullein for the lungs, right? Or slippery elm for bowel stuff, and marshmallow for urinary tracts. So those are demulcents, and if you use them topically, they're emollients. So for anything inflamed.
Yeah.
And
like poplar bud, has emollient
yes,
properties.
yeah, absolutely. And benzoic acid, which would work. So good old balm of Gilead, which should help him some.
Yeah.
But again, top of the list for me would be basil, and it's not a really expensive, hard to find oil. It's about the same price as lavender, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And lavender would be a good choice for him as well.
Right.
Just dilute it.
Yeah.
Because intact skin on a small area can take quite a bit of pure essential oil, but a large area that's already insulted,
Right.
it's just going to do more damage.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You want to make sure it's diluted. If you happen to have any of the blue oils, like some of the chamomiles or yarrow oil, which is hard to find.
Yeah.
Tansy is another one. There's a chemical called camazulin. It's a sesquiterpene that, oddly enough, I've heard people, sometimes depending on their attitude, I get involved in a conversation or I don't. I'll hear somebody looking around at the plant store. Do you have any of the blue chamomile? And I'm thinking, well, there's no such thing. Oh, yes, there is. I'm a certified aromatherapist and I'm looking for the blue chamomile. No. What happens is in the still, under high pressure and heat, a monoterpene holds hands with another isoprene unit, creating a sesquiterpene that happens to be blue. And any of those oils that are blue really rock for any red conditions of the skin. Rosacea is one you'll see quite often. People my age will get like blotches or even a line up the middle of their forehead.
Yeah.
Or it can be blotches on the face. And any of the blue oils are wonderful.
Cool.
For those red conditions. So if there's any of that around.
Yeah.
But no, this should work really well for him.
I actually just did a chamomile hydrosol the other day.
Oh,
yeah. I've got that beautiful blue oil extracted off of it. Yeah.
Great.
There we are. Yeah.
All right.
Should be bottled up and ready to go.
And that should be really helpful for anybody with even eczema.
Right.
Just anything red conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And it smells great. I tasted it. Man, it was like so strong, like, bitter, like it was powerful flavor to it. But
Okay, so don't drink it.
No.
It's not going in your, it's not going in your smoothie.
No, this is all about topical.
But for somebody like the staff member there, that should be very helpful for him.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much.
Okay, we got to wrap it, I guess.
Yeah. Bye for now.
Mom needs